The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
What's one story that changed your life?
I've experienced many meaningful moments, and I've heard many very profound and powerful stories. I'll just tell you something that opened me up to a dimension that I haven't thought of earlier. I was once invited to do a Shabbaton a year ahead of time, which is not the Jewish way of doing things. You know, when the Pentagon invited me, they invited me 2 years before. And then I knew they weren't Jewish. Jews invite usually, right before. Somebody called me in California and he said, "Can you come tomorrow night to speak?" I said, "No, I'm booked." He says, "But I already put up signs that you're coming." That's great. So now it's my fault, In any case, people are interesting. Mi chamcha Yisrael, right? He had so much bitachon. I said, bitachon in Hashem, not bitachon that I'm coming to California tomorrow. Anyway, so I got this invitation and I scheduled a Shabbaton, and I even got my wife to come with me. We sent our children to my in-laws, and my wife would come with me. We were really looking forward. We were about to leave the house. We packed up. And Friday afternoon, as I'm about to leave, I get a call from the organizer who tells me that the Shabbaton was canceled. Friday afternoon was canceled. You had hundreds of people coming. Politics. I'm like, politics? You found out about the politics 6 hours before the Shabbaton? You didn't know about the politics a year ago? Politics, it's ugly, it's disgusting. I'm like, how do you do this to all the people coming? How do you do this to me? I mean, it's just not menschlich. This person tells me, I'm embarrassed to be part of this organization, but it's canceled. I was really upset. Or to confess, I was furious. I was really furious for a few reasons. We planned this and it was all worked out. I was also relying on the weekend financially, whatever. It was just a mess. I was so upset. I tell my wife, I say, "Esty, this is really not nice. But it is what it is. It's canceled." So I wasn't going to have her or me cook Shabbos. It was already, Shabbos was soon. I invited myself out to a friend for the meal. And we went for the meal to this person, and we came home to our apartment. We were living in Brooklyn at the time on New York Avenue. But I have to tell you, I was really angry. Anyway, we come home. My wife goes to sleep. I go to the couch. I'm reading, I'm learning. And I thought I'll fall asleep, but I was not falling asleep. I was very anxious. So first I thought I was just anxious because I was upset. And I finally fell asleep on the couch. And 3 a.m, I woke up and my heart was pounding. And I didn't know why. I thought maybe something happened. I ran to our bedroom. My wife was sleeping. She was fine. Something was bothering me. I didn't know what. And I couldn't go back to sleep. This was in an apartment building. It's called the President Plaza. And I had an office on the 4th floor. We were living on the 1st. And there was light in the office, and I had more books there. And I wanted to check something up. So I thought, I can't fall asleep anyway. It's 3 a.m, I'll go up to the 4th floor. So I start walking up the steps Friday night, 3 a.m. And when I come up to the floor where my office was, I see a teenager sitting on the steps. And it was a very strange phenomenon. He was sitting with his head on his forehead, just sitting on the steps and contemplating. It wasn't something I expected. So I sat down near him. And I said, "Good Shabbos." And he wouldn't answer. I said, "Good Shabbos. Is everything all right? Do you need anything? Do you have a place to sleep? Can I do something for you? What's bothering you?" No answer. After a few minutes, he says, "Leave me alone." I'm like, "What happened? Share with me. I'm not your enemy. What's your name? Do you need a place?" He stands up, and obviously he was using somebody's apartment there because the door was open, and he ran into that apartment. And just my instinct told me, follow him. And I followed him, and he slammed the door, but I put my foot in. So he slammed the door on my foot, but I got into the apartment. And as I walked in, he ran into the kitchen, and I saw his hand was filled with tablets, and he put them in his mouth. And I knew what those tablets were. I saw the bottle, and I knocked him. I shoved his hand, and most of them fell down and came out of his mouth, and he started to wrestle me. He's like, "Get out of my life. I'm trying to end my misery. What are you doing? Get out of here." And we literally started a wrestling match Friday night, 3:30 in the morning. It was surreal. He was punching me and kicking me and fighting me, and I'm fighting back. Thank God I was a little bigger and a little stronger, so I managed to triumph, to be victorious, and I pinned him down. And after an hour, he relaxed, and I'm like, what's happening? He says, the pain was just too much. I decided to end everything. And you ruined my plans. You ruined my plans. We spoke till 7 in the morning. Till 7 in the morning. He opened up. He shared his life story. At 7 in the morning, he was different. He was a different person. He was really highly intelligent and sensitive, brilliant person, and very deep. We spoke for hours. Anyway, it was 7 o'clock, and I was giving a shiur at 8 before davening. So I brought him down to my apartment, and I woke up my wife, and I said, Esty, listen, I have a wonderful guest here. I'm going to give my shiur. I'm going to daven with the early fast minyan. I'll be home right away. I just need you to be with him for a few hours, and then I'll take over. And I went to shul. I did my shiur. I cut it. I davened with early minyan pretty fast, and I came home right away. And I spent Shabbos with him. Motzei Shabbos, he fell asleep. Motzei Shabbos, I set him up with somebody who I knew was a real expert for this type of trauma, and he really took him under his wings. And today he's, an extraordinary, young, bright, successful person, really a source of light and honesty and authenticity. And I remember Motzei Shabbos, thank you, Motzei Shabbos, I turned to my wife and I said, Esty, do you realize if that Shabbaton wasn't canceled, he would have been dead? And then I became aware of something. They canceled the Shabbaton because of politics. But God canceled the Shabbaton so that this boy should be saved. And from that moment in my life, it taught me such a profound lesson. Things happen. Not always by my choice. You get involved in things happen, and sometimes there's politics, and sometimes it's not so nice, and sometimes it's a little filthy, and it's so easy to get entangled and to get upset and to keep grudges and to get frustrated. From that story, I learned so much, that there is always another layer, there's another dimension that we never ever know. And I'm thankful today, I look back and I'm thankful that they canceled the Shabbaton, even though it was not pretty, because this boy's life was saved, and I had the privilege of being Hashem's shliach at 3:30 in the morning to literally save his life. For me, it really opened my eyes to always know that there is a deeper layer, and you have to be open to that.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org